Good morning, it is Friday and it's time to go to Kanchanaburi. I just feel like it's gonna be so beautiful, so peaceful, so wholesome, so I cannot wait to bring you along. We just arrived and I am so stoked. We just walked on the campgrounds a little bit and we got brought to our room, and I'm just gonna show you because it speaks for itself. This is going to be such a chill and fun weekend. There's something I quickly want to talk about because in my previous video I said that I was probably gonna do a solo date for this week's video. I went to a cafe where I wanted to do like a fun creative solo date. So then they sent me upstairs and it turned out to be a dog cafe. I was met with like 11 or something really cute little dogs. But I felt really off instantly. It's something I became aware of I think maybe a few years back, because when I was younger I also went to the zoo and stuff, but I just realized that it doesn't align with my personal values anymore to support these kinds of businesses. So when I was sent into the dog cafe, I was just really confused, and I was like, is this like part of the arts and crafts experience as well? And I didn't want to be rude or disrespectful as well, so I just walked in and they looked like they were treated very well. I just stayed for a little bit to be polite, and then I just left as soon as I could. I think I stayed there for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe in hindsight I should have just left immediately. I just had no idea that this was gonna happen, so I didn't really know what to do, and all I could think was I just want to like leave and go home as soon as possible without being disrespectful. I think they just assumed that I was coming for something else, whereas I assumed that they knew what I was coming for. So I guess I just had to be maybe a bit more clear up front. But now I feel like I could let it go better, because I realized that it was not my intention at all to go there. And yeah, I think it was just a miscommunication, but that's also why I didn't end up filming anything there. Besides spending time just on the park here, I also really want to go and explore a bit more of Kanchanaburi. So we wanted to get out of the camp and like explore for a little bit, but we realized that we didn't really think about how to get there in the first place. So we asked the lady from the camp if she can book us a taxi, because there was no Grab drivers that wanted to take the ride. I think because it's a bit far away. I think maybe it's a good idea to rent a motorbike for 2 days maybe, because one of my friends had so many good recommendations for places we can go, and I would love to just visit those. We just got back to the camp, but I decided to go on a little walk, and I feel like I've never walked in a better place, honestly. These last few days, I don't know why exactly, but I've been feeling quite insecure about my body and about the way that I look just in general. And I know that sometimes you just have these phases that you don't like really feel that good in your body, which is totally fine, but also kind of annoying. I think maybe it's because, one, I've been sleeping really bad lately. Every time I go to bed, I cannot fall asleep, like I am wide awake. And the other thing, which I feel kind of goes hand in hand with the sleeping late, is that I've been snacking so much. And I've been eating so much like chocolate and cookies and stuff like that. I used to have a very unhealthy relationship with food. And I do feel like I healed my relationship with food, but I do think that sometimes the old habits can creep up on me a little bit. And I feel like that's what's been happening these last few days. Even though I have really come to love and accept my body just the way that it is, because I feel like my body is capable of so much. For example, traveling. And I feel like that weighs a lot heavier than just the way that my body looks. I have also been thinking about how I can fix this, because I just feel like I, at this point, am a little bit heavier than maybe I normally am, or maybe a bit heavier than I feel like is the healthiest for me. So I do feel like I want to do something about that, but I want to do it in a healthy way and like not have to like diet like crazy or anything. So I'm a little bit confused on how to go about it. I think what I have to do for myself is just whenever I want to snack or like have a meal, maybe ask myself what is like the best option for my body right now, what will make me feel the best. Sometimes that can be chocolate or a cookie or candy. Sometimes it's just something a bit healthier and like more nourishing. But right now I'm just always going for the sugary option. These days when you just don't really feel like yourself and you don't feel comfortable in your body or in your skin, they're completely normal. I feel like sometimes we can get a little bit in our head with the way that we look and how we feel in our body and in our skin, but at the end of the day, I feel like how we think about ourselves doesn't say anything about our true beauty. And I feel like everyone is beautiful in their own way. And I feel like beauty also comes from the inside. So as long as you're like beautiful on the inside, it'll radiate out anyways. Good morning. I had such a lovely night of sleep, and now it's time to go to training because there's a Muay Thai gym in this area. I always feel like my shorts are like uncomfortable fitting, and I have this with almost every pair of Muay Thai shorts that I try. I feel like they always are very tight on my legs, and especially after washing it a few times, and they always like creep up higher than I would like them to be. If you have the same, that's not a problem at all. I just choose a bigger size because they fit me better. And that brings me to a little reminder, which is that your sizes in clothing do not decide who you are and how beautiful you are. And also not how you get to feel about yourself and about your body. So for example, sometimes I just want bigger sizes. My Muay Thai shorts will be in XL because they just fit a lot better. But then maybe for another store with another clothing type, I'll get a size small or a size medium. I feel like I should really buy clothes that fit me rather than me trying to fit into the clothes just based on what's in the label. So don't get too carried away with the sizes of clothing. It's way more important how you feel in them. We are back from training, all fresh and showered, and I wanted to talk to you about something for a little bit, because yesterday I talked about how I felt a bit insecure these days and I wasn't sure how to go about like fixing it, especially since I wanna do it in a healthy way and in a loving way towards myself. Because since my therapy, I just don't want to like put any strict rules on myself anymore. And me and my boyfriend had such a wholesome conversation yesterday at the campfire, He was so sweet, and we talked about it and how I can try to make myself feel a bit better, especially health-wise, because since my therapy, I stopped caring as much about aesthetics and I started just caring more about the way that I feel in my body, if I feel healthy, if I feel fit. And I just really want to feel a bit more fit. And I am not gonna lie, the aesthetics are like a nice bonus. So some things that we talked about, action plan wise, I wrote them down, so I'll go check them. One is not to get any more snacks in the house. We've been really, really easy with getting chocolates and cookies and stuff in the house. 7-Eleven is so tempting. It just makes it a bit more difficult to make the decision to go and snack a lot. Because I feel like if I really, really crave a specific something, then I'll ask myself, do I really want to go to the store and like get it, or is it just like a quick craving because there's something else going on underneath? Then another one is because we travel full time, I find it really difficult to do meal preps. And I used to do meal preps at home all the time. I was the kind of person that would sometimes bring my own foods to places. For some reason, I just felt like I couldn't really meal prep here, but now I'm like, maybe I can, but just in a different way. So we talked about it, and I think I'm gonna try to just meal prep some sources of protein, meal prep some sources of carbs, and some veggies. And then I can just like pick and mix, which I feel like would make it a lot easier as well. And then another thing is that whenever I feel the urge to snack too much, I really want to try to make it a habit to grab my journal instead. And I know that sounds really random because they're very different things, like writing and eating chocolate. But I think the reason that I crave these snacks so much is because underneath I'm feeling a certain emotion that probably my body is trying to protect me from. So for example, if I feel stressed, then maybe my body doesn't want me to feel stressed, so then I'll grab a chocolate instead so that I'll be distracted, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna try to make it a habit to just grab my journal instead at that moment, which means that I need to also be able to recognize that moment in order to be able to grab my journal before I grab the chocolates. But I feel like if I put my journal in a very accessible place where it's always inside for me, then it might be a lot easier. And then the last one is, I feel like I'm not really sure about this one just yet. I need to think about it a little bit because it feels like it might be a bit of a restrictive rule, but I try to see it as a guideline. So, for example, one of my lucky moments in the day, or like my happy moments, is getting a coffee. There's gonna be a few days out there that I'll do maybe 2 coffees in a day when I'm really craving it, but I can't handle the caffeine anyway, so for me it's just always one. And it's a moment that I always really look forward to. We thought we could do the same with like having a nice snack. Then maybe we could have one weekly happy moment, that I just don't mindlessly grab snacks whenever I just crave sugar, but rather just try to mindfully think, okay, I'm really craving this one specific thing and I want to have it this week, somewhere this week, and I'm gonna like make it a little moment and really mindfully enjoy it, rather than just grabbing a chocolate every time I'm at the 7-Eleven just because it's there. So I think that actually might be a good option. And there's gonna be weeks when I have more than one of those happy moments, and that's also totally fine because it's supposed to be a guideline. And I know that all of this is to say that I kind of need to rewire my brain in a sense. I've been learning a lot about neuroplasticity in the last few months, and I am aware that I really have to build this new pathway for myself in order for it to get automated and to be like the more established habit rather than grabbing the snacks without even thinking about it, because right now that's what I always do, so that's what I'm always going to do because my brain just automated it. So it's time to break the cycle. I just spent a few hours in complete chill mode and I also worked a little bit. But one thing I wanted to show you, which I thought is so cute, the cafe that we were at before, which was W Story Cafe, they had these really cute pouches and I love these flowers. So I was thinking, should I get one or not, like as a nice memory from visiting here? And then when we wanted to leave, I asked her if I could buy one. And then she said that they were free if you would like post a review. And the cafe was super nice, so I was more than happy to post a review. And now I got this as a present. I've heard fishes left and right, so I think I'm gonna head back. We are checking out in a little bit, but I had such a lovely weekend over here. I really enjoyed the nature. I felt a lot of peace over here. I had some quality time with my boyfriend, so it was honestly such a perfect weekend. I'm all fully recharged to go back to the busy Bangkok. Thanks again for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.